Hello everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Mahendra, Salesforce Technical Architect with 13 plus years of experience into Salesforce ecosystem. And today I'm going to cover platform events. So let's get started. Uh, so let's say you have a requirement and you want to integrate your Salesforce with external system and you want the things to happen in real time, right? So what you can do is you can choose platform events for this particular integration. Okay, so let's just understand. Here I'm step by step, going to guide you how to create the platform event and how you can publish, and then your external system can subscribe to the events. So just like an custom object in Salesforce, you can create objects for platform events. So let me go to my Salesforce org and show you. So here in the setup, you can search for platform events and then you can click on platform events over here, and then it opens this particular page where you can create your platform events. So let me create a new platform event. Here I am going to create this event for contact changes, right? So let me give it a name as uh, sorry, contact change event, or maybe contact change audit. Okay, so mainly, I'm going to use this event to publish the contact changes, which I'm going to do. Let me provide the plural name for it, and let me keep the API name as is. And here, you get two options whether you want to publish this event immediately or publish after commit. So it depends on your requirement, but it's safer to choose the after commit option because in case, if you're trying to fire this event from your Apex class or Apex trigger, and in case that class fails because of any exception, you might not want to, fire this event. So it's safer to use this option. But again, it depends on your, requirement. So let me choose publish after commit and save this. Once you save this, you can see just like an custom object. Here, a platform event object is created. So only difference is for a custom object, you see underscore underscore c suffix, but for platform events, you see underscore underscore e suffix. Uh, you can also notice on this object there are some standard fields created. So created by, created date, event UUID, and replay ID. So these are the standard fields you get with this, and you can then create custom fields or relationships, uh, if you want to include those as part of your event. So from here, for my example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this many fields, right? So basically, contact field is going to contact ID field is going to store the 18-digit ID of the record which I'm going to modify. Field name, it can store the name of the field on contact which I want to send to the external system. So for example, let's say I want whenever I update my email ID on the contact, so that should get synced into the external system. So I can capture that in the field name field which I create on this particular event. Next field I can create, which I can create is old value and new value. So basically, these two fields are going to hold the uh, uh, values of the email field before and after change. Then next is who updated the record and the time of the update. So I'm not going to create each and every field here, but I hope you understood. But I just wanted to give you an idea on how a UI looks like when you are going to create platform event, right? So moving on, what you can do is once you have this uh, event created and all the required fields created on the event, you next is you have to publish this event, right? So there are number of ways you can publish this event. We are going to talk about that as well. but I am going to show you an example of the Apex trigger, which I can use to publish this event. So here, this code, it can be part of a trigger, or its best practice is to keep it part of the um, trigger handler. So let's just try to understand what's happening in this code. So here I have created a list of that particular event, right? And then I'm looping through the records which change. So let's say I updated an email ID and phone number for a particular contact record. So here I'm going to receive that particular record in my trigger, and then I can check if email was modified, and if this condition is true, then I'm creating the object of that particular event, and then I'm just storing this storing the values for the fields I created on my event. So I'm storing contact ID, then the field name is email. So as I said, I'm going to write it into my field name field on event. Then the values, old values and the new values, user who modified the email, and then the timestamp. So I created this object for just to get the email changes. Similarly, for the phone changes, if the phone number was changed, again I'm creating an object over here, and then adding it to the list, as you can see. And for my example, let's say I'm not changing mailing address on my contact. So again, it will check if the you know mailing, there's no change in the mailing address, so you know um, it will not create this particular object record. Yes, again, I am checking if my list is not empty, and if it is not, then I'm just going to publish it from here. So I just wanted to give you the idea how you can publish it from your trigger. So moving on, so we just saw how we can publish a event from a trigger or Apex class. Other options could be you can create record on a platform event, right? So you can publish a event from Flow, or you can also use REST APIs or PubSub APIs, from externally to publish your events. Moving on, let's understand how you can subscribe to the events which were fired. So if you want to subscribe it internally, again you can write a trigger on your event, right? So in here it will be uh, contact change audit, and you can put your logic inside that trigger, whatever business logic you want to run post that event. Other option, you can create a platform event triggered flow to again run your automation. And externally, you can use uh, if your external system supports Comedy client or PubSub API, they can also subscribe to your event. Moving on, let's understand the key components of platform events. So it first one is event definition. So as I told you earlier, just like custom objects, you can create platform events. The suffix will be underscore e, and then you can have your publisher. So I mean, Apex, you can publish your events through Apex, Flows, Process Builder, or external systems, via APIs. And the last one is subscriber. So again, you can subscribe to your event using, Apex Trigger, Flow, Comedy Client, right? So Comedy Client is nothing but the streaming API. So that can also be used to subscribe to your event. Okay, so let's understand why use, platform events. So as I said in the beginning, this platform events are used to, sync external system in real time without, constantly polling Salesforce, and they can be used for triggering the downstream processes, like when an opportunity close in your org and you want to perform a logic internally in Salesforce or externally. So again, you can use platform events. It also, supports the decoupled integration. So what does it mean is, uh, the two systems, one is Salesforce and other could be any external system. Those would be, independent of each other. So when Salesforce, let's say Salesforce fired an event, you made some changes on contact, for example, and it published a platform event. And let's assume the external system is down. So it doesn't matter to Salesforce, right? It can still go ahead and save the record in Salesforce and publish the event. Whenever the other external system it comes up, it can, catch that event. It can also use replay ID to, uh, catch the missed event if required. Okay, so let's understand a simple use case. Let's say you have a ERP system and it must sync with, Salesforce contacts. So instead of constantly polling Salesforce every 10 minutes or every hour, you can create platform events. So you can create a platform event, then add custom fields to it. Then it generates slash event slash contact change audit underscore each channel, which can be subscribed by the external system. And then whenever you make changes to your account or contact in Salesforce, so ERP system then receives a real-time notification, and again it can update its data, accordingly. Pretty simple. So next is, let's understand. I mean, it gives the delivery guarantees. So it supports at least once a delivery. So you know events may be delivered more than once. So we need to, take care of item potency. So I mean, what I mean to say is, let's say Salesforce fired an event and it was, you know, subscribed by external system and it took action against that particular event. It updated the records in its system. So Salesforce might fire or might deliver, that event again. So external system has to be, has to make sure that it doesn't, act against the same event again. So that is also called as item potency, which is very crucial here. So these events are stored for 24 hours, and it can, I mean, that's a standard, but it can be, stored up to 72 hours. And you also need to, make sure you are storing the replay IDs, just to reread the event again if required. It also supports transactional publishing. What it means is, let's say if your Salesforce Apex transaction rolls back, then it doesn't, publish the event. So we saw that if we choose publish after commit, so in that case, it will not fire that particular event if your Apex transaction fails. Okay, let's just understand the key considerations when it comes to platform events. So there is a limitation. You can only have 250K events per day, which can be increased based on your edition. So you can reach out to Salesforce support if required. You cannot query the, events directly just like other custom objects. So that consideration you have to keep in mind. You can use replay ID for durability in the external system. So again, as I said, if the external system it missed that event, it can use replay ID to, rerun that event or reread that event. And platform events are asynchronous, so it will never block your transaction. So that's also a very important thing to note. Here in this table, I have tried to, list down comparisons of, different integration patterns. So you can use this integration, instead of platform events to sync with external systems. So let's just try to understand, what all different features which you get or don't get as part of other integration patterns. So uh, real time. So change data capture, which is also called as CDC, it's real time. Outbound messages, again, it's real time. Platform events, real time. But REST APIs those are not real time. External system has to, constantly poll Salesforce to get the data from Salesforce. Built-in retry. So CDC comes up with a built-in retry. So if in case, you know, it failed to, deliver the event, it retries internally. Again, outbound messages also can, I mean, they come up with a built-in retry, but platform events, they don't come up with the built-in retry. So what that means is once the event is fired, it cannot be, if it is not caught by the external application, it cannot be refired. So external application has to, use the replay ID and read the event again. And similarly, for REST APIs as well, there's no built-in retry. Next is field level granularity. So in case of CDC, uh, you whatever fields you change. Let's say for a contact you have 20 odd fields and you modified 5 fields. So your payload of the event will have all the 5 fields part of it, and all the field changes related to all the 5 fields will be delivered to the external system. But that is not available with the outbound messages or platform events. So in case of platform events, what you are doing is you are explicitly creating the fields on your platform event which you want to deliver. So in your Apex class or flow, you are making sure what all fields you want to sync to the external system and which you don't want. So you have that control with platform events. And again, that also comes up with the REST APIs as well. CDC and platform events are easy to scale. What that means is when your data grows, it works the same way. It doesn't fail, but it's very difficult with outbound messages and REST API. So that was the small comparison I wanted to tell you all guys. Next is so when you create a platform event, so you, as I said earlier, you need to provide the channel which gets created under slash event slash your name of your event underscore e. So that is a channel which gets created. You need to share that with your external system along with few more things. So one is you need to create a connected app in Salesforce. You need to enable the OAuth setting for it. You need to set the callback URL and the following scopes for it. So once you create this connected app, you will get consumer key and the consumer secret, which you need to share with the external system. Then you need to create a service account in Salesforce. So you have to be very uh, specific when you create this service account. You need to make sure that this account has only the access related to the uh, uh, things which you want to share with the external system. So in my example, if I want to share only contact data with them, so what I will do is I'll create a service account with blank profile or with a profile which has no other permissions, and I'll create a permission set. I'll make it API enabled. I'll set read access to the contact object on this permission set, and then I'll assign the FLSS for the fields which I want to sync with external system. So all these permissions I will set on a permission set, and then I'll assign this permission set to the service account, and then I'll share the service account and its password to the external system team. So you need to share connected credentials of the connected app, which is consumer key, consumer secret, username of your service account and its password, and the channel which gets created for your platform event. Then external system, it can subscribe the channel using streaming API or PubSub API. If you want to perform some logic internally, you can write Apex triggers, you can create flows, which we covered earlier. So changes where whatever changes you make on your record in Salesforce, for example, for my example, when I make changes on contact record, it triggers the events, and subscriber then receives the event payload and they can process it. So, yep, that's all for today. Please do share your, feedback, or if you have any questions, you can post a comment on my video. I also created a video on different integration patterns and chain data capture. If you haven't watched it, I would suggest you to go ahead and watch that as well. Thanks so much for joining today. Thank you.